Hey, Tiger, liberate me.
It's been a whole month, Josh.
Stacy, I keep meaning to, but, work.
If I don't get this night on the town in the Lambo, Josh, I don't what?
It ain't my fault you can't satisfy her, yo.
A beautiful wife, a beautiful, healthy baby girl. If cucking is so wrong, baby, I don't want to be right.
Forgive them, Father. They still need to evolve.
Welcome to our deep dive into the age-old question, who cheats more, men or women, brokies? Infidelity has plagued us since ancient times. Records of extramarital affairs dating back to early civilizations. Ancient Mesopotamian texts and Egyptian hieroglyphs depict tales of betrayal, while the Old Testament recounts numerous instances of adultery. In ancient Greece, gods and mortals alike were frequently involved in extramarital liaisons, reflecting a societal norm where infidelity was rampant. This pattern continued through history.
Whole pass, babe. He's a knight.
Such as Chaucer's Canterbury Tales. And so.
Mother is a harlot.
Do our vows not mean anything to you, Esther?
Father, try as I might, I simply cannot reach them. The gluttony, the betrayal, the debauchery. I simply cannot hold on to my sanity much longer. Father, please. Hope truly springs eternal. Now for them to actually hear this. I've done so much, yet there is always so much left to be done.
Before we go further, brokies, I have to reiterate to you that I am not Andrew Tate. They AI-engineered narrator personality manufactured by BJD, who has two messages for you. The first is that there is not one of you fools out of 100 out there watching that is going to hook up with a girl that is rated as a 6 or more in current 2024 society. And furthermore, not going to be able to attain the status of top G. Not by a damn sight.
Andrew Tate is very mean.
I'm not Andrew Tate. So, fast forward to modern hookup culture, and it's more quick and practical for younger couples to have casual sex compared to people in days past. But what a bittersweet pill you Z-tards have but to swallow. Hypergamy, manifested by modern females in the highest form since the dawn of man, has perished the hope of any guy under the top 10% in SMV, from even getting a whiff at 2024 poontang from a 5.3 or more. Talk about the legend of Tantalus realizing in real time. Hey, thirsties! Modern data underscores the persistence of infidelity. According to the General Social Survey, 20% of men and 13% of women in the United States have admitted to extramarital affairs, with infidelity rates varying by age, race, and other demographics. Now, Z-tards, I have a treat for you. Get a low to what people were like and what they did to catch some snatch before technology. I'm going to shut up a bit because this comedy gold writes itself. This shit.
My name's Monroe. You've probably already noticed that I have incredibly blue eyes.
Hi, I'm Chris. My name's Mike, and if you're sitting there watching this tape smoking your cigarette, well, hit the fast forward button, because I don't smoke and I don't like people who do.
Sorry?
I'm looking for the goddess. Are you the goddess?
Sexy, slim, tight, excellent legs.
A 25-year subscriber to both Playboy and the New Yorker magazine.
No fatties?
Couples with infidelity are significantly more likely to experience divorce, with 40% of cheaters currently divorced or separated, compared to 17% of non-cheaters. The enduring prevalence of infidelity from ancient times to today highlights its deep-rooted impact on human relationships and societal stability. Now, Brokies, we get back to the show. I'd like to introduce you to Stacy.
Look at the cans
who will
on
be an integral part in the story later on. But mostly
Hi,
to
boys.
maintain audience retention levels at this point. Modern dating is rocket ship galvanizing infidelity in 2024.
We gonna pull a Chad one way or another, girl.
Article points out how infidelity is deeply influenced by cultural and temporal norms.
Video call my ass, Charles.
This
It's mama's time out.
particularly relevant to women whose roles and responsibilities in relationships have dramatically evolved.
I don't care about the call I have up front.
Has led
Mama's
women
on
to
this
seek
dick.
Not just stability and security, but also passion and the ability to sow some
Mommy will be
wild
home any
oats.
hour now, Megan.
Yay!
All right, Brokey, enough of that. Let's now segue into dating.
Art thou mad,
Wait,
brother?
hold up, players. Look what we got going on up in this thing.
Hey boys, wanna play a real game?
Females, and two, I ain't arguing with no Negro.
Cut that shit, Willis. She look like she, hold up, bitch, she's nicht old. We's about to get us a bunny, Playboys.
Stacy, I got time tonight.
It's all good, Josh. I seem to have a Sumton ache.
The shifting gender gap in infidelity may be influenced by generational effects, with those born during the sexual revolution reporting higher rates of extramarital sex. The data also shows that infidelity rates differ across various demographic factors. Cheating is more common among Black adults, and political identity, family background, and religious activity also play significant roles in the likelihood of infidelity. Interestingly, education level does not appear to significantly impact the odds of cheating. Now, Andrew Tate, being half Black, can attest that the brothers like to step out a little something something. Being a Black-white, he ain't trying to open Pandora's box. Slow your damn roll now and let's unpack the motherfucker. 20% of men and 13% of women admitting to extramarital sex, and that mere 7% gap, if that, is narrowing every year. Believe you me, Brokies? However, the gender gap in infidelity varies by age. Younger women, ages 18 to 29, are slightly more likely to cheat than men of the same age, but this trend reverses as they age, I told you so. Talk about these feminists skewing data for optics' sake. I mean, if 90% of the men versus woman adultery occurs in the above 40 bracket, who gives a flying you know what? It ain't like the quality of sex and romance is worth a shag at that point anyway. Infidelity peaks for men in their 70s with a significant gender gap among the oldest age groups. Like I just said, Brokies. The dynamic of white women consorting with Black slaves in the pre-Civil War era highlights the blurred lines in gender roles concerning adultery. Traditionally, white men held power and exploited enslaved Black women, but white women also sometimes engaged in sexual relationships with their Black male slaves. This challenged norms of female chastity and purity, revealing a hidden aspect of gender and sexual dynamics within slavery, and forever tore asunder the characterization of feminine victimhood within the historic lines of adultery, when more and more stories and anecdotes of the finessing of these slaves
Hey, Tiger.
all over the South.
How about pulling my chain?
These interactions
Is that a
subverted
brush broom in
conventional
your pocket?
expectations of female
Or
sexuality,
are you just happy to
and
see
exposed
me?
the hypocrisy in social and legal structures that harshly condemned Black men for alleged advances while ignoring consensual or coerced relations initiated by white women. Examining these relationships shows that gender roles were not as rigid as portrayed in antebellum society. The sexual agency of white women within the oppressive system of slavery blurred lines in gender roles concerning adultery and power. Research on infidelity is complicated by factors such as differing definitions
Hey yourself, Pavel.
and the reluctance of individuals to
Hey,
admit cheating.
Javier.
Studies
mi
indicate
rubia hermosa.
that
Can you get me a
infidelity
good deal on my hair?
may even have
See, no hay
evolutionary
problemas.
roots, with men historically mating with multiple partners to maximize reproductive
A
success.
girl has got to just love
Women
Dubai.
seeking backup partners to ensure resources for raising children. Despite societal disapproval, infidelity remains a regular phenomenon.
Not
Some
tonight, honey.
researchers
I got
argue
jet
that it
lag.
is
Fair enough,
genetically
dear.
ingrained. This prevalence and the complexities of human relationships suggest that while monogamy is idealized, it may not align with our natural instincts. Most Americans in relationships expect and demand monogamy, viewing any breach of sexual exclusivity as a disaster. Infidelity, whether it leads to breakups or not, often causes significant damage to relationships. Despite the ideal of monogamy, many people find it challenging to remain with just one partner for life. Historically, polygamy has been common, with the Bible, early Mormon practices, and modern sex and swing clubs highlighting that sexual exclusivity may not be natural for humans. The fact that various forms of non-monogamous relationships exist and thrive suggests that strict monogamy may not suit everyone. A recent internet study by a website founded on infidelity whose hallmark is victims and perpetrators alike, venting online reveals that after tabulating all the data of hundreds of couples, that blonde women are reported as cheaters more frequently than women with other hair colors. The study, based on user-submitted data to the site, indicates that 42% of alleged female cheaters have blonde hair, followed by red, 23%, brown, 20%, and black, 11%. In contrast, men with brown hair, 40%, are reported as cheaters more than those with black, 32%, blonde, 20%, and red hair, 5%. A woman recently discovered that not one, not two, not three, but let's just say at least several of her relatives had been unfaithful. This prompting her to wonder if infidelity could be genetically predisposed. Research on genetic links to behavior often involves studies on monozygotic, identical, and dizygotic fraternal twins who share varying degrees of genetic similarity and common environments. Lynn Cherkis and colleagues' famous UK Genetic Influence on Adultery 2004 study on over 1,600 female twin pairs found that 21% of identical twins and 23% of fraternal twins reported infidelity, with significantly higher concordance rates among identical twins. This suggests a genetic influence on infidelity, with the heritability estimate for infidelity at a whopping 41%. Soon, Nee Stony Brook School reviewed 148 studies from around the globe and concluded, despite near universal disapproval, infidelity is a worldwide phenomenon that occurs with remarkable regularity. Infidelity is so prevalent that some researchers suggest it may be genetic and provide an evolutionary survival advantage, unquote. Fast forward, Brokies, to Zeech and colleagues in 2015. That study on over 7,000 Finnish twins found that 9.8% of men and 6.4% of women in committed relationships reported having multiple partners, with higher concordance rates for identical twins. The heritability estimate was 63% for men and 40% for women. Additionally, a study by Garcia and company in 2010 found a link between the dopamine D4 receptor gene and a greater likelihood of infidelity. However, these genetic influences are not deterministic. While genetics may contribute to the likelihood of infidelity, they do not wholly determine behavior, suggesting that environmental factors also play a significant role. See, Brokies, there's that dopamine, again, that demonic chemical that causes you zetards to scroll on your phone 23 and a half hours per day. Spend more time seeking social media validation than showing your parents you actually know what year their birthday is. And now, the driving force behind most adulterous degenerates of 2024 to step out, as it were, sometimes flushing down the toilet decades of commitment, be it emotional or financial, to not even mention cherished offspring, just to get that fix, just to get that mother flipping fix.
You mean it, Josh? We're gonna paint the town red? We
I
got the
said so, babe.
babysitter for Jamie, and she's glad to stay extra. Ooh, I'm so excited. Babe, you're wearing me out.
Let's call it a night. They's a fine-ass couple. You sure you want to mosey on up in this piece? I mean, it's
a colored person's club.
That's okay, we're very progressive, eh, Josh?
Huh?
I was down for the first hour Josh with his buds. Then he arrived. As previously documented, I earlier had my first swirls, but he was different. The moves, the rhythm, I found myself jumping over the counter and... Oh gosh, Tyrone. Oh gosh, Josh.
No, hold on, buddy boy. I ain't trying to...
You stupid jerk.
I done told you she stepped to me.
Josh lay beaten up, but I had never been that excited in my life.
Goddamn white people drama. I'm about this thing, player.
Josh was reeling. We didn't say a word the whole trip back in the rental. Tyrone jacked the Lambo that I cherished. I've never been so aroused in my life.
Revelation about Stacy at the bar. My problematic encounter with Tyrone and the ride back taught me one thing. There was nothing I can do but just embrace the cuck. It is unavoidable. It is my destiny. How apropos, my new idol.
Let's see if I can make a man out of you. Maybe later.
I'm so happy I got a mommy and daddy.
No! Try the way I talked about at lunch. You're learning quick, my guy.
Well, there you have it, brokies. I hope you have pulled from our documents presented and stories contrived that mankind is straight up doomed, players. 304 is gonna step out. Wimps are gonna cuck. That's just the way it's been since the dawn of time. Hey, if someone in line at the grocery store steps really hard on your foot, are you going to say, no problem, buddy, and go along the day? Not if you're any kind of man. This thing called polite society, manners, adhering to laws, customs, agreed upon norms, is just a facade, a nice little storefront to what's really going on inside. The human species is lousy with aggression, perversion, animal instincts, cravings, and the need to be validated. Each one of us is a walking time bomb. If we don't get our needs met, our fixes hit, our overall state of being regulated on the daily. We step out, color outside the lines, as it were, the age-old, oft-asked question, why? As simple as a hammer to a nail, because we can. Consequences after math that only relates to the normie conformists amongst us floating through life on the most simple of philosophies, because we can. If homegirl is hot enough and wants to explore, shall we say, flagrant avenues, there ain't any man in 2024 that's going to put a serious cap to anything. If it's 6.7 and above, guys, you're just going to whistle in the graveyard if you like. You know it. Kids? Hey, they're just kids. Women today lack any accountability and twist and contort the most UN unmalleable of things and ideas. When she's done song dancing and crying, if the kid's gonna believe you're at fault and carry this bogus Lee indoctrinated narrative till maturity. Guys, y'all know we gotta be the ones towing the line. So why do you let that 5.4 piece of tang on a plain, errant, random moment tear asunder what you build and cultivate and invest in, not only financially, but emotionally and spiritually over decades and more? Do better, not letting you off the hook. And ladies of 2024 society, if you think I went hard on you, you are sadly mistaken. Because we have not even discussed, as it relates, modern infidelity, alluded to, made mention of the fact he's that big, fat, ugly, disgusting, perverse, debaucherous, unspeakable pink elephant in the room, as it were. Yes, if you're a female teacher in a typical middle or high school, in any apple pie eating, modest, God-fearing city across the fruited plains of these United States these days, I'm looking at you with infrared heat-seeking eyes, and they're throwing daggers at you at the speed of light. Ain't even gonna qualify the son of a bitch. Another time, only to let you know I ain't a miss, Jen, you know the word. Adults who have cheated are more likely to be divorced or separated than those who have remained faithful. Men who cheat are more likely to remarry compared to their female counterparts. Ultimately, religious service attendance is the most consistent factor predicting infidelity.
I can't help these lowlifes, Father.
My closing message, if your 304 is stepping out on you with a big brown mofo like myself, just take the L. To make a personal request, receive channel merchandise, or to just hook a brother up, hit up the Cash App on the screen, or make a contribution to the PayPal shown on the screen.